how badly you treat some of your customers. People like grandmother Linda King. She wanted to transfer her name onto a TalkTalk broadband account after the death of her husband Derek, and to stay online to keep in touch with her grandchildren in Australia.
I wanted to make sure that they could change it over to 9M for me to continue paying for their service.
And after explaining her situation over the phone, Linda heard nothing from TalkTalk for 3 months. Probably all sorted then. No, Linda's internet, you see, then got cut off.
We were phoning them constantly to try and get them to understand our situation.
But Linda shouldn't have bothered straining her vocal cords. What should have been dealt with in a simple phone call still hasn't been sorted now, 9 months later. And although Linda's now back online, TalkTalk are still sending her bills addressed to her late husband.
They were very unprofessional, very unsympathetic, and totally useless.
Well, it's not surprising. We've had a whole host of Watchdog viewers hoping to come in and have their complaints heard. Some have had such bad service, or no service at all, they've tried to take their business elsewhere. But TalkTalk seem to love some of their customers so much they refuse to let them go. In fact, Ofcom have launched an investigation into them billing customers who've cancelled their contracts. Customers like Carol Edge, a baker from Bolton who decided to switch her TalkTalk phone and broadband to Virgin Media. But after paying what she thought was her last bill, TalkTalk called her, demanding cash 2 months later.
We had a letter from TalkTalk to tell us that we had cancelled. So, you know, we couldn't understand why they were asking for the money.
Nah, me neither. Despite Carol clearly explaining that she'd left them, no one at the company seemed to be listening. All they wanted to do was talk. They bombarded Carol with letters and phone calls. Carol refused to be intimidated. But TalkTalk's tactics were about to get even heavier.
When we got a letter from the debt collector, I was devastated. I just didn't know what to do or where to turn. I'm getting angry, frustrated, and I just want to be left alone.
TalkTalk have now threatened to take Carol to court, and here's another customer who knows what she's going through. Anne Hughes. Anne's 89-year-old mother, Elsie, cancelled her TalkTalk plan to go to BT. I presume you can imagine what happened next. Yeah, that's right. Despite cancelling, Elsie was sent bills demanding ongoing line rental.
The first sign of trouble was when my mother rang me in tears, which was quite shocking. She told me she was having problems with TalkTalk.
An angry Anne called up the company's customer services.
Whoever rang TalkTalk on Mum's behalf got the same response from whoever they spoke to, perfectly polite, full of apologies, it won't happen again. And then another bill arrived.
So it seemed TalkTalk had got the message, and not before time.
They sent her a letter, actually admitting they shouldn't have been billing her, assured her absolutely, completely and utterly that there would be no more bills arriving, and she would no longer hear from TalkTalk again.
Great news, right? No, wrong. Just 2 weeks later, a new bill landed on Elsie's doormat. Oh, no.
What my mother would like most from TalkTalk isn't anything special. She just wants them to leave her alone.
It's not too much to ask, is it? Especially of a company that spends so much time and effort telling us how great they are. Well, sorry, TalkTalk. The judges have returned their verdicts. Tonight you got 3 no's.
So shut up and let me go. Hey.
OK, the commercial director of TalkTalk, Tristia Clark, is here now. Mrs Clark, let's pretend for a minute that you're Cheryl Cole. Would you vote for TalkTalk?
Well, firstly, we'd like to apologise to Mrs King, Mrs Turner, Mrs Hughes and Mrs Edge for the clear inconvenience and distress that we've seen on your programme tonight, Anne, that these problems have caused. Let me explain what has happened. 12 months ago, we bought a business called Tiscali, based in Sardinia. And over the course of the last 12 months, we've been moving 1 million Tiscali customers from 7 billing systems based in Sardinia to our own billing system based here in the UK. Through the course of that happening, for the vast majority of customers, everything was absolutely fine. Unfortunately, in a small number of cases, we've been billing customers after they've cancelled us. So customers that have left us have received bills in error.
OK, but what people are saying is there you are, allegedly 20 million on the X Factor to get new customers, and you don't know how to treat the ones you've got, because complaints, according to Ofcom, who are investigating you, are still coming in.
We are helping Ofcom with their inquiries, and they too, as you say, and as we saw in the programme tonight, have received some complaints of this sort.
They're still going on.
As I've said, we've been integrating these billing systems, so it's 7 billing systems based in Sardinia.
OK, Mrs Clark, if anybody hits a brick wall, like the people we featured, and they can't get through, can they get in touch with you?
As I've said, we've been integrating these
now, I know
billing
you've been
systems.
integrating. Can they get in touch with you?
They can absolutely get in touch
OK,
with me.
commercial director, Mrs Clark, at head office.
They can absolutely get in touch with
and
me.
you'll deal with them?
Yes, absolutely. As we've seen, as we've seen in the programme tonight, Anne, we've really let down our customers in this small number of cases. It's customers that have left us that we've continued to bill in error. And in each individual case, we've looked at it in absolute detail and looked at the processes and systems around that.
Your address will be on the website. Thank you very much. Chris?
Thanks, Annie. Now, if you want to see any of tonight's stories again, go to our website. That's bbc.co.uk/watchdog. That is the address. We'll bring an update on some of those stories a little bit later. But in the meantime, here's another one we've only just heard about today. It concerns Comet and an ad they've been running on their website for a 32-inch LG television. The price? Just 2 pence. It normally sells for £365. Now, hundreds of you have tried to order them, including Robert Harris from Kent, who ordered 12 of them for him and his mates. He paid 24 pence. Yes, work it out. 12 times 2p is 24p, plus a £19.95 delivery charge. He then got a confirmation from Comet. But last night they contacted him saying they couldn't process the order because the ad was the result of a computer error. Comet have since confirmed to us that the 2p offer was a mistake. They've apologised to customers who've ordered the TVs and promised to refund any money they've paid.
Now, holidays. Millions more have been taking them in the UK since the financial crisis started. Travel agents expect that trend to continue next year. But be careful before booking a so-called staycation. Here's Rebecca Wilcox.
So many holidays, so many choices. The trips abroad look fantastic, and they make the ones in Britain sound just as appealing. Oh no, I could do this one. Set in the glorious Sherwood Forest, a truly memorable experience, first-class facilities, stylish accommodation. Unless, of course, they mean Centre Parks. One viewer checked into Centre Parks Sherwood Forest earlier this year, hoping to celebrate a friend's birthday. Instead, he found his room to be less stylish and more of a stinky stench. Damp, mildew and some rare fungus growing from his toilet ceiling. Not what you'd expect for £600. When he complained at reception, they told him he should have paid for a better room. Charming. But if a woodland retreat is not your thing, how about a classic beach holiday? OK, so maybe this one. Close to award-winning beaches, a wide range of activities. Whichever park you choose, you can't go wrong. Unless they mean Pontins. Once it had almost 30 holiday parks around the country, and Pontins became famous for its blue coat entertainers, like Shane Ritchie and Bobby Davro. Leslie Adgerson checked into Prestatyn Sands in May.
Well, this is one of the pillows that my son had to sleep on in his bed. And this was the mattress, which is also stained.
That is horrible.
Yeah.
Unidentified stains on bedding is never a nice thing to think about.
It's not nice.
Rotting window frames, peeling paint, food in the sink, an intermittent water supply, dirty carpets. What is this place?
We kept our shoes on all the time because the carpets were so dirty. And as we got into bed, we put our shoes on the floor so we didn't have to walk on anything with bare feet. There was just, I don't know what that was on the floor, but most of the,
Is that an animal?
Well, I'm not sure. It was just, we didn't touch it.
And this is the room you're supposed to try and get clean
This was
in.
the bathroom. My husband actually had to use the bath one night, but there was no plug to hold the water in. And it had somebody else's hairs sort of entangled in the plug hole. I mean, to me, it just needs demolishing and rebuilding, really. It was just awful.
But is Prestatyn Sands a one-off or typical of the Pontins chain? We sent 2 members of the Watchdog team undercover to Camber Sands Park in Sussex. Lucky them.
The more I think about it, it does smell like vomit in here. Where can we start? Kitchen? It's quite grimy. It doesn't feel like it's been cleaned here at all. There's bits of paper on the floor. I don't think anyone's hoovered down here.
Hungry?
Yay! We're on holiday. The bath is falling apart. Bit of a hole in the wall.
Where are you?
Bathroom.
That is a beautiful sight.
Looks like someone's had an accident.
Is that your bed?
After an itchy night's sleep, our campers felt the need to change apartments. At £272 for a weekend, surely not all the rooms are this bad. Peeling lino, broken furniture, a lumpy carpet. That would be the rubble.
Nice.
More living creatures and drugs. 10 milligrams of temazepam, a prescription drug for insomnia. Now even my hoovering skills would have cleaned that up. It was time to complain at reception, but even the staff seemed helpless. Well, at least they're honest. The rest of the park was just as bad, run down and generally dirty. They even found glass in the Crazy Golf and right next door to a children's sandpit. They don't mention that in the brochure. The unhappy tourists we featured so far all stayed in UK holiday parks, which, to be quite honest, aren't everyone's cup of tea.
But if it's a traditional British hotel you're after, then look no further than Britannia.
With 35 hotels across the country and a name to be proud of, you'd be forgiven for thinking solid, reliable, high quality. Sorry to disappoint. We found these snaps on TripAdvisor taken at Britannia Hotel in Brighton.
When I walked into the room, the horror of Britannia Hotels actually was there, looking me in the face.
Mark Foster also stayed at the Britannia in Brighton and found this.
Damaged furniture, dirty, tatty, scratched, you name it, it was horrendous.
Other guests shared his view. These are just some of the hotel reviews posted online.
The worst hotel I've ever stayed in.
Avoid at all costs. Take a tent.
I don't know where those guests have got with their complaints, but at least Mark has some satisfaction. Britannia have admitted their standards fell short. They've reimbursed him and offered a complimentary weekend. But what about these other staycation favourites? Can they still persuade us to holiday at home?
OK, that's a question for you.
Yes, well, we've had a response from Co-Centre Parks. It's pretty straightforward. They have apologised to the viewer with the fungus-filled room. They say their normal standards, of course, weren't maintained on this occasion, and they are discussing compensation with them.
And Pontins, that filthy, filthy, filthy apartment.
Yes, it doesn't make you feel very clean, does it? No. Another apology, they say they've had problems recruiting cleaners, but that's no excuse for the accommodation, which hasn't been cleaned properly. They've also launched an investigation to find out if certain apartments were let when they shouldn't have been. But I do have some great news for you, because Pontins say they still do offer top-line cabaret, including, drumroll please, yes, the brother and sister act from X Factor 2007, same difference. They're on. You can't argue with that.
Shall we run away together to Prestatyn?
I'm available.
Good. Still to come. Volvo show off their new system designed to make pedestrians safer. Very reassuring. The Vanish Stain Remover. This is the ad. What's the reality?
Back to Midlands Turf now, the company that charge for premium lawns but leave you with a garden full of weeds. We've seen what they deliver to customers, and we've heard how their boss responds to criticism. We're about to experience both firsthand. A suburban street in Leicester. It's scorchingly hot and Midlands Turf are arriving with 56 square metres of premium turf for our garden. Centre Court's champion lawn doctor, Dr Andy Newell, is here to watch events unroll. Dan and I are just enjoying the moment.
Hello. Oh, great.
The boss of Midlands Turf, Terry Jacobs, doesn't seem to come out on deliveries, and so it's his driver giving Kira some tips on how to get the best out of her turf.
Give it a really good soaking when you get this down.
Oh, that's good, that's good. Need to get some water on, particularly in very hot conditions like this.
Yeah, I was going to ask you actually, because we're going to put it down, I don't know, this evening or maybe over the weekend or something.
A couple of days with it.
So I can leave it there for a couple of days.
You've got a couple of days with it rolled up like that.
No. You can't leave it there. It's going to cook. You've got to get it laid today. You've got hours, you haven't got days.
So my partner just wanted me to double check. It's premium. It's the premium one, isn't it?
So, it's premium turf.
It's luxurious.
It's regularly weed treated.
Right, there's the £1.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 140.
That's lovely.
Kira pays the driver £141. Per roll, it's about 20% cheaper than other local firms. But the issue here isn't cost, it's quality. Is it really the premium turf they promised? It's not until they drive away that our expert can start to get his hands dirty and find out. It's not looking good. And he can see moss on the edge of the rolls.
It's a really terrible bit of turf is this.
But the true extent of how bad this grass is isn't clear until he rolls it out.
You'd struggle to improve a lawn with this. It's full of moss, which really, to get rid of, it'd be back-breaking work. There's no shortage of weeds in here. This looks like clover, but it's not clover. It's closely related to clover.
Most of the rolls contain weeds and moss, but some are of truly shocking quality, literally falling apart.
It's not the product as described. This is not premium luxury turf.
So the turf is bad. Just complain.
Yeah, but if we do that, will we get the famous Midlands Turf potty-mouthed reply? What are you doing exactly?
Just imagining what Terry Jacobs looks like.
Let's have a look. You know, that's not bad.
I just don't know what kind of mobile phone he's got.
Is our impression of Terry Jacobs correct? One of our team phones him.
Midlands Turf.
Oh, hi there. You delivered some turf to me today, and I think there might have been a mistake.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't premium turf.
Okay, that's your opinion, not mine.
Well, it's got weeds in it and moss.
That turf has been sprayed for weeds twice.
So, should it have weeds in it now?
I don't say the turf is weed-free. I say the turf is weed-treated. Look. Put your complaint in writing to me, OK?
Well, I'd rather just get a refund and this collected, because I don't want this.
Oh, off.
Excuse me? Yeah.
Undeterred by Terry Jacobs' foul mouth, we call back again later.
A perfectly normal person doesn't speak to his customers in using the language that you use.
Hang on a minute. Don't speak to me like a 5-year-old child. It's got nothing at all to do with you, how I speak to anybody. And I won't be spoken to like by you, like a 5-year-old child, telling me what you know about turf. What you know about turf, you could write on the back of a postage stamp. You've heard what I've got to say, so that's it. End of. No more conversation. Goodbye.
Ooh, man's not happy.
No.
Maybe we should put our complaint in writing, like the man said.
Yeah, but the postman couldn't deliver it. You see that address? It doesn't exist.
So what should we do?
Well, I have an idea. Let's go to Worcester.
Worcester sauce?
It's a place as well as a sauce.
And why Worcester? Well, Midlands Turf deliver there too, because it's in the Midlands, you see, map fans. So we've arranged for another consignment of grass to be sent to a house in Worcester.
Oh, hello. Hi, I'm Hilary.
How's it going?
How are you doing?
We've also heard that the company may be based nearby, so perhaps we can follow the lorry back to base once it's made its delivery. Takes the driver 11 minutes to unload.
Lovely.
Once he's gone, we check the turf. It's just like the last lot, moss, weeds, and cut really unevenly. If we were to lay this turf, it would require months of hard work to turn it into something half decent, but it's unlikely to ever become a premium quality lawn. Go right, we'll see where we get to.
Sure.
Yeah. Time to find out where it's coming from. Dan and I are on the driver's trail, and it seems like Midlands Turf HQ is located in the middle of a secluded field with no roads leading directly to it.
There we are, straight across there.
As we set off on foot, another member of the team calls Terry Jacobs to complain about his so-called premium grass.
I don't think the quality of the turf is very good at all. I mean, it's completely full of weeds and moss, for one thing.
Well, I don't know what your credentials are regarding turf, but I've been involved in the business for 25 years.
Right.
We're now on Terry Jacobs' land.
You know what? I take turf to Barrett's.
Right.
For their show homes. I supply Knockcuts Garden Centre in Solihull, also agents for Webs of Witchbold. And all those people are very particular and they're all very happy with my product.
We later checked with Knockcuts, Webs of Witchbold and Barrett's. Terry Jacobs doesn't supply any of them.
Just over that tree line there are the coordinates where we think Midlands Turf are operating. So we're going to go and have a look. This is all public right away, as you can see. So we're perfectly entitled to be here.
Despite that, Dan is getting a little worried.
Well, if he scissors that, yeah, what's he going to do?
In truth, we don't know how he'd react, but he's shown himself to have a fairly short fuse.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'll find where you are and I'll put my fist down your throat if you spoke to me like a 5-year-old child again, the old China.
Wary of what might happen if we're seen, Dan and I keep a very low profile as we approach the place where we think your lawn is born. It's like the lawn identity.
There he is. There.
That there is a cutting machine. Now you see that tractor with the green canopy on it? We have located the source of the Terry Jacobs Midland Turf Empire. It's right here.
And just look at it, it's not the place you'd expect to be growing premium lawn turf. The machinery's pretty out of date. The field's on a slope, which explains why their turf is so unevenly cut. And there's no sign of any watering equipment. To be fair, some of the grass does look quite healthy from a distance, but we've seen what it's like when they deliver it. And one of the fields Terry Jacobs was growing turf on had a major weed problem.
All of which leads to the kind of turf that we've been seeing, which is certainly less than premium and at times pretty duff.
Yes, pretty duff, and we've had enough. It's time we came face to face with Terry Jacobs, but will his bite be as bad as his bark? Find out later.
Next, Vanish, the world's best-selling stain remover. And there's no room for doubt in their ad. It guarantees to remove marks from fabric. But does it? Here's the ultimate test.
Oh, nice. Well played! Very good goal.
Oh, what a dirty tackle.
Good goal. Well played, good game, bit dirty. How's your mum going to get that out?
Finals tomorrow, so I've got to get this right first time. I need to make sure I get these stains out.
You can rely on Vanish Oxy Action. I'll show you how powerful it is and why so many people trust Vanish to help remove tough stains. Because Vanish has Stain Seeker technology and a powerful Oxy Action formula. See? Guaranteed to remove tough stains first time or your money back.
Bold claims indeed. Removes tough stains. First time guaranteed? Not according to this team. AFC Hillside are based in Portsmouth. When their manager saw the ad, he decided to wash his whole team's brand new strip using Vanish Oxy Action.
First of all, we soaked our football kit in the Vanish product for a good hour or so. Put them then into the washing machine, added the soap powder, put the Vanish recommended amount on top, which was a scoopful that they supply, and then run them through the wash. We've done this 3 times trying to remove the stains, but every time we removed them from the washing machine, the stain was still there.
Now, old-fashioned footballers wouldn't have cared about a bit of muck, but the modern player finds stains a bit distressing. I blame the Beckham effect.
Everyone wants a clean kit, don't want to come on a picture of a dirty kit, want to look smart, go out there and win our games.
It's just always nice to come out onto the pitch and look good, basically. It's no good turning out all dirty and that. Just don't wash our kit, basically.
All right, guys, I understand, but don't blame the gaffer. He is doing his best.
As you can see, the stains still remain in the shorts, and this kit has been washed 3 times with the Vanish product. It has been soaked for over an hour in the Vanish product, but again the stains remain.
So while the makers of Vanish clearly imply that a scoop of Oxy Action powder will clean the dried-in mud from a football shirt, it just doesn't seem to be happening with this team. Will it work on other kits? Well, this is our dirty polyester football shirt, very similar to the kit worn by Peter's side down in Portsmouth. As you can see, I've got a very muddy back, and somehow I've managed to get red wine and coffee on the back as well. So what am I meant to do?
Hi Chris, try this. All you have to do is add 1 scoop of Vanish to some water, put the shirts in, and then you're done. Well, apart from the fact you have to soak for up to 6 hours and then wash in the machine.
Yep, that's one way Vanish suggests washing clothes with dried-in stains. So we did exactly what they say on the side of the tub. Soaked our whites for 6 hours in 4 litres of water with a scoop of Vanish, rubbed the stains, then washed as normal with a leading washing powder brand. And plenty of it at 40 degrees. Whew. It's taken some time, but let's have a look at our results. Well, not too bad at all. Quite clean there. The coffee and the wine stain has definitely gone. But I'm not particularly happy with the back. As you can see, probably still bits of the mud. That's not a first-class performance from my first-class team. They're not going to look good in that, are they? How about my cotton T-shirt? Remnants of the coffee still at the bottom. And as you can see, the mud looks as if it's there to stay. Not happy at all. And they're the results after soaking for 6 hours. What happens if you haven't got that time to faff around?
Well, fear not, for Vanish suggests a second method. Just add a scoop of their Oxy Action powder to your wash as normal.
Yeah, she really does look like that woman in the ad, doesn't she? Anyway, if you don't have time to do that 6 hours pre-soak, you can always follow this second recommendation to add a single scoop to the wash. We did that too. We followed the instructions on the side of the tub again, this time mixing the scoop into a normal 40-degree wash containing a leading washing powder brand. Well, are these results any better? Well, let's have a look at the front first of all. Well, the red wine and the coffee seem to have disappeared, but wait until you see the back. That is absolutely filthy. You wouldn't want to be seen in that shirt on a Saturday. And let's just have a look at the cotton T-shirt. Well, the mud is pretty much still there, and you can probably make out the coffee and the wine stains, so they're not a great result at all. Now, it seems a bit strange that Vanish can suggest their Oxy Action powder will remove tough stains like mud, when clearly it doesn't. But maybe it's just me. What does a professor of consumer marketing think?
This advert for Vanish actually proposes the problem to get rid of mud stains from a football kit the first time. This is reinforced by the visual. So the woman in the advert actually holds up the stain, and it's gone with the first time wash. Then we come to the end of the ad where the Vanish woman says it removes stains first time, and they're going to guarantee this in the advert, or they'll give you your money back. There's no way that you could misunderstand that this should be first time stain removal.
OK, welcome to the Watchdog Laundry and its proprietor, Chris Hollins. So many talents you have. What we really need to know is there any difference if you wash with the Vanish Oxy Action?
Well, that is it. I know you like things whiter than white on this programme, so we've done a control experiment. So we washed our football shirt, a muddy football shirt, in just washing powder. And as you can see, pretty rotten result, plenty of mud there. So what I'm going to do is I've got to have my Vanish Oxy Action. That'll do the trick, won't it?
Is this your own pink basket?
It is indeed. I bought it from home just to please you. As you can see, that is the result with my Vanish Oxy Action, with my washing powder. What do you reckon?
No, it's just as bad, isn't it?
Yeah, disappointing result. Now, we have spoken to Reckitt Benckiser. Now, that's the company that makes Vanish Oxy-Action. They say their own tests, that is effective first time on a wide variety of stains. But they have acknowledged some tough stains may need pre-soaking and maybe more than one application for best results.
But the ad just says it guarantees to get rid of the stains.
Yes, their answer to that is very, very interesting, because we've had problems with mud, haven't we?
Yeah.
They reject any suggestions it was misleading, because their ad actually focuses on grass stains, not mud stains. In fact, they go on to say that they don't claim first-time success on mud-based staining for any of their products.
Fantastic. So if you use Vanish Oxy-Action, don't play football in the rain or fall over on the pitch.
Yeah, never ever play in mud.
Oh, and thank you to Peter, the football manager, who told us about that story, and here's a few more.
Two of Google's Street View vehicles have been vandalised on the Channel Islands. The attack happened in Guernsey after it was revealed that earlier this year, Street View cars had been collecting data from unsecured Wi-Fi networks as well as taking roadside pictures. Google said it had already captured most of the images it needed before the vandals slashed the car's tyres and cables, but said the vehicles will return to the island to get more pictures for its website if necessary. It's also emerged that the company asked a local TV station not to show film of the damaged cars. So it couldn't be that it values its own privacy more than ours, could it?
Now, a rail passenger's been ordered to pay £155 for getting off a train one step early. Professor Martin Evans had bought a first-class ticket from Birmingham to Durham, but then decided to get off at Darlington, which is closer to his home. But East Coast Rail, which runs the service, accused him of breaching the terms and conditions of his ticket by breaking his journey. They later accepted he'd made a genuine mistake and waived the charge, but they maintain that getting off a train before it reaches the designated station is prohibited and punishable, even though you've paid for a longer journey. Now, Professor Evans, who works in the philosophy department of Durham University, is still trying to get his head around that one.
Red faces at Volvo. Engineers decided to show off their latest safety device and invited TV cameras to film a new radar system, one designed to detect pedestrians in the path of their V60 car, which automatically applies the brakes to avoid a collision like this. But, embarrassingly, in some of the tests, the car failed to stop, sending the crash test dummies flying. Volvo stand by the technology, claiming it would have worked if the pedestrians had been actual humans, so it was the dummies' fault. Alas, though, it comes just months after another disastrous Volvo media demonstration, this one designed to show off the collision warning system in their S60 model. Perhaps they should just perform future tests in the privacy of their own factory.
Back to the car crash that is Midlands Turf now, the company that you really don't want to put in charge of your garden. We've met their victims, located their HQ and tracked down their abusive boss, Terry Jacobs. Now we've called them out again. So here's Law and Order, Part 3. We've had a third load of supposedly premium lawn from Midlands Turf delivered to an address in Birmingham. We transport it to another house down the road and get the professionals to lay it. Unbelievably, for the third time they've sent us really bad turf. It's dry and yellow, infested with moss and is half dead. Just to remind you, the grass on the left is what premium turf should look like, but we keep getting the naff stuff on the right. Ugh. The boss of Midlands Turf reckons we know nothing about grass, even though we've had one of Britain's top experts helping us. Terry Jacobs says that you could fit what we know about turf onto the back of a postage stamp. Having spoke to Dr. Andy Newell, we know quite a lot about turf, so we're going to need quite a big postage stamp. Do not meet the British standard. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? I want to give this to Terry Jacobs. The problem is, he always sends his drivers out to deliver while he stays a safe distance from the customer. First of all, we try to see if he'll come out to do us a quote to relay a lawn for us. It's not good news.
I needed somebody to relay my lawn.
We've been fully booked up our landscape division house for the last month and a half, to be honest with you. That's why nobody got back to you. Sorry.
That didn't work, so we ask Andrew, who's an actor, to phone Terry up, posing as a landlord who has multiple lawns to turf. Maybe if we tempt him with the chance of a big contract, he'll come out for a meeting.
Is that still okay for this afternoon?
Yeah.
Sounds like we're on. Terry Jacobs is on his way here, and the great news is he'll get the chance to comment on the quality of his own turf, which we've picked up from the other place and laid down here. He's also got a surprise in the shape of Dan, who's waiting in this pot. Dan?
Bill and Ben. Look at me. I used to be a sex symbol.
We're going to hide in the pots until Terry Jacobs arrives. For one day only, Dan and I are the Rogue Traders flower pot men.
Thanks, mate.
Hi, Kira.
Kira, we saw earlier, is going to be a weed.
Can we just very quickly run through your lines again, please?
Okay. Flubba lubba lubba lubba. Flubba lubba 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 lubba. Flubba flubba flubba.
We're not waiting too long before Terry Jacobs arrives.
When he's pulled up.
Stand by, he's pulled up.
Confirm matches the description.
We're ready.
All right. How are you? Come in.
It's a dive round here, isn't it?
I've seen better. Yeah, I want to do this. I want to get it quite nice because I can charge more money.
We know the supposedly premium lawn Terry has sold us is half dead and not fit for purpose, but what does he think of it?
I mean, is yours better than this?
Yeah, but it's not a very big job, is it, mate?
Well, I've got loads of other properties. That's the thing.
Well, this is about 25 rolls, that's all.
Yeah. I mean, I've got other my mates of mine who've got properties and all. I mean, you can handle the work.
I've got 14 blokes working for me.
And it's definitely nice, better than this, is it?
This would make a nice lawn if you give it a good got it watered and that, and put a bit of fertiliser on it and that.
It just looks a bit rough, though, doesn't it?
I don't know who bought you this, but it's not brilliant, sir. But there's no weeds in it.
I think it's time I had a chat with this guy.
Lubba lubba! Lubba lubba lubba! Hello, Terry, how you doing?
Matt, all right, BBC Rogue Traders.
Oh, yeah.
You're absolutely right. It's not brilliant turf. I mean, what it comes down to is that your turf is dreadful.
Yeah.
And when people ring up to complain to you afterwards, you threaten them like you did to us. You said you'd stick your fist down our throat, and then you told us to F off, which is not brilliant customer service. You said we don't know enough about turf to stick on the back of a postage stamp, so that's exactly what we've done. Your turf contains moss and weeds. There are dead patches and holes. Many of the rolls are poorly cut and often fall apart.
All turf is only as good as the person who looks after it. Most people get the garden, they have the turf delivered, they mow it with a blunt mower afterwards, they don't treat it properly anyway.
Yeah, but we're talking about the condition of the turf that you were just standing on, which you've just said is not brilliant in your own words.
It's not brilliant.
And you sell that as premium turf.
It's not
How
brilliant.
can you sell that as premium
It's
turf?
not brilliant, but it's not the worst turf.
Well, it's got moss in it. It contains weed grasses,
Okay.
principally Yorkshire fog, also bent grass, annual meadow grass, and some pasture grass. It's got dead patches. It's got holes in it. That's premium turf. That's turf that people are paying proper money for. And then when they call to you to point these things out,
Someone's laid that turf down in
it's
there.
not about the way it's laid. It's about the quality and when it's
It's not
delivered.
going to grow very well there, is it?
Well, it was always going to have weeds and moss in it. When it was sold to us as premium turf, it's nothing of the sort, is it?
All right, okay, can
You
I shut
agree
the door
with
now?
that? Yeah, away you go.
Okay.
Terry Jacobs of Midlands Turf. Flobber lobber job done.
Flubba lubba lubba, bye!
That's Midlands Turf of Bromsgrove, not to be confused with West Midlands Turf or any company of a similar name. Terry Jacobs has been in touch since we filmed. He says there have been problems with the business. You're not kidding, but adds that turf is a natural product and keeping grass free of weeds is practically impossible. No excuse for the state of his turf, though, or for the way he speaks to his customers. Tonight, he becomes the latest face on our Rogues Gallery.
Now, we have had loads of complaints about Talk and Pontings. Tracy Gould, for example, went to Pontings. She said the apartment was so bad they couldn't even stay there one night and the kids were in tears. And we've had 113 complaints about the power steering on the Mariva.
We've been getting some very serious messages as well about Kirk, the men's health model who's on our Vauxhall item there, Chris. Thanks for the eye candy, says one. Is he available for a date, asks another. Tell Kirk he can sit in my driving seat. You're watching BBC One. Keep sending us your stories and tip-offs. Just visit our website, bbc.co.uk/watchdog, and click on where it says your story, or you can write to us. The address is on your screens right now. Annie.
Coming up next week, the police crack down on uninsured cars, but yours could be impounded even if you paid your premiums. Royal Mail charging you for receiving a letter. They need a new set of scales and dolphin bathrooms. Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen loves them, but perhaps his doesn't look like this. That's all on Watchdog next Thursday, 8 o'clock. Until then, good night.
Well, Strictly Come Dancing returns to BBC One tomorrow night. Just for this week, Nutrex follows next, where a chocolate factory hides a dark secret.
I walk along the street of sorrow, the boulevard of broken dreams, where Gigolo and Gigolette can take a kiss without regret, so they forget their broken dreams. You laugh tonight and cry tomorrow when you behold your shattered schemes. Gigolo and Gigolette wake up to find their eyes are wet with tears that tell of broken dreams.
It could only be The Apprentice. Starts Wednesday at 9 on BBC One.
Tree.
Tree.
Mouse.
You want me to be a mouse? Mouse.
Don't forget to put your head on the floor.
All right.
Watching CBeebies won't make your children perfect, but programmes like Weibaloo encourage teamwork and playing together. Brand new episodes of Weibaloo, weekdays at 6 on CBeebies.
Angels watching over me with smiles upon their face, 'cause I have made it through this far in an unforgiving place. It feels sometimes this is too steep for a girl like me to climb, but I must knock those thoughts right down. I do it in my own time. I don't care. I'm halfway there on a road that leads me straight to who knows where. I tell you what I have found, that I'm no fool. I'm just upside down. I think
Strictly Come Dancing starts Friday at 9 on BBC One.
So just 24 hours of training left, and then comes the really hard